Welcome to the Motor Asha podcast. On this episode, we talk to Nitin Joshi, an avid traveler, someone who's done 120,000 kilometers on his Triumph Bonneville. We ask him his experience and also how he made it to this milestone and all his experiences of traveling with it. Hi, Nitin.
Hi.
Good to have you on this Motor Asha podcast. You've been an inspiration to a lot of people, I believe, for having one bike and continuing on with that bike for so many miles. So we thought we'd have you on and
Thanks.
hear your story. Instead of me asking you and starting off a question, maybe you can start off with the bike that you have, the experience that you've had and why did you choose that bike?
First, it's been bikes. I used to love looking at bikes. I never owned a bike when I was in college, I had a scooter. Mm-hmm. Before that, I had a 50cc. Mm-hmm. And then I was busy getting my life sorted. I changed from microbiology to sound engineering. Okay. So it was a long struggle. So I used to see all the bikes around and I never had time or money to buy one.
Okay.
And ride one. Oh. So at the age of around 50, I had time. I shut my studio down, started traveling as a freelance live sound engineer. Okay. So I had a lot of time on my side. I had time for myself. That's the time that bug came. Okay. Said now I need to buy. And in one of the gigs in 2013, the first IBW, I was doing sound for Pentagram. And after sound check, I saw all the bikes around me. There were Harleys and there were every bike there. And that was that point where I said now I have to have one. Yeah. So it took around 2 years. 2015, I started looking out for a bike. Yeah. Whatever was in budget, I test rode almost everything that was available in the market. And one of my friends, I never knew about Triumph, very frankly. One of my friends took me here, brought me here to Triumph, said, let's go. You want to buy a bike? Don't look anywhere else. Let's go. So I went with him and I sat behind him. He was taking a test ride. And the way the bike moved, without making any noise.
This is the Triumph Bonneville?
Yes. Okay. And Triumph Bonneville. Okay. That was the first meeting with Triumph Bonneville. Okay. And I fell in love with it. And in 7 days' time, I came back, I test rode myself, and I loved it more. And in another 7 days, I bought a Triumph Bonneville. It's a Bonneville A3. Yeah. That's the basic model. Yeah. No electronics, no ABS, no traction control. But the way it rides, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
So these are, so there's a classic element to it as well as an old school element to what you're riding.
Basically, the pulling of the accelerator cable is different. Yeah. Because I test rode later on all the bikes which came with the so I never enjoyed anyone.
Yeah. So was there a reason to get into motorcycling, and was this the bike that you thought would serve your purpose? Is that why you bought this, or there was no purpose and you just said...
I just wanted to have a bike to start with. It started with that. Once I started riding, and see, it was a learning curve. I never... Literally, I had a 150cc bike which was used from office to house. So I actually never rode a bike on highways as such. Traveling wasn't part. Yeah. So once I got the bike, I started riding. Yeah. And I started enjoying it more. Then because initially, like 5 years back, I'll take you back. When my friends used to ride long distance, I said, kai ko jata hai? Flight hai na? Why don't you go by flight? But then when I actually sat on the saddle and I started riding, I started enjoying the whole process of riding. Then it was a big learning curve. Initially, I was afraid of riding on twisties because my rear tires to move, skid, and then I didn't know about changing tires. I didn't know any technical stuff. I still don't know. I learned on the way. Then first really long ride was Leh Ladakh, where stock tires, normal, and nothing had the foot pegs were normal. Yeah. And on the first day from Manali to Leh, when we started the ride, it rained heavily. Yeah. So the Khadungla Pass was full of mud, and so I had to learn everything there. And that's where once I learned everything slowly. It was a very slow process, very tedious process to understand that weight, to manage that weight and all that. Once I started enjoying it, it's like I'm itching. If I don't ride,
back on.
Really, it's a big itch.
Is it? I mean, I know a lot of people say motorcycling does help with mental health. Does that help you? Considering
No, but it just gives me. I mean, my face lights up, and I am happy riding. That's what it is.
So you've done quite a lot of kilometers on your bike earlier, and one of the rare few that has done it. What has been the experience having a motorcycle and spending so much time with that motorcycle? I mean, I don't want to say that, hey, listen, it was a reliable machine, but you've spent quite a lot of kilometers on this bike. Like,
yeah, but it's you start making it your own.
Okay.
When you buy it, it's not your own.
Yeah.
When you start riding, you start understanding the bike.
Yeah.
Then you do a lot of smaller changes to suit your riding style. Like for example, I learned to stand up and ride because see, I'm not an off-roader.
Yeah.
I don't like that part of riding. Yeah. Never. I always been riding on tarmac. But in India, whenever you are riding, it is the off-road comes.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to know to ride because there are road construction happening. Road quality of the roads is not as good. So you have to learn. So once in a while, I started going with friends who were doing off-road just to understand, just to learn. Yeah. So then I had to change the foot pegs. To stand, then I had to change the bolt, which is holding the foot pegs to carry my weight if I'm standing, which was not part of the Bonneville culture. Yeah. Then I had to change my seat, which is king and queen seat, which makes it comfortable to ride long distance. Yeah. So all those smaller changes, then it started becoming mine. And like when I completed 100,000 kilometer, everyone started asking me, what is the upgrade? What do you plan to do now? I said, see, why somebody upgrades? Yeah. If he's not happy with what he's got, he wants something more out of his bike. That's where you want to upgrade, So I have everything. I mean, I can ride everywhere. I've taken it to every part of India with every kind of road. Yeah. Why would I change if I am so comfortable? Now I made it own. It is my, it's just, I sit on it, I feel so comfortable. Yeah. Why would I change?
But it's a very interesting thought that you've got. I mean, with my bikes, the more I open the bike, the more I feel being part of it. Like, you look at it and then you tell yourself that, hey, listen, I've spent so much time understanding this person or this motorcycle that I don't want to give up on it anymore.
Yeah, you are opening the bike. I'm riding the bike more.
Yeah,
because I am not a technical. I don't know anything about how this machine works and all that. It's just that whole process of riding gives me a lot of pleasure. So I just like to ride. I just continue riding, and that's what you were talking about. I've learned it's my bike. I mean, we talk to each other without saying a word. Yeah. So you want to continue that. Yeah. I don't want to sit on new bike and again relearn what I learned and
So you must be. It must be odd for you to see people changing bikes.
Yeah. I always talk to these people. Why are you changing? No, this bike doesn't have what I want. Yeah. So why didn't you think about it when you bought it? So no, I bought that. Then I realized. Then I bought a new one. Yeah. I have friends who have changed 2-3 bikes, and these people are continuously changing. They are not happy with what they have. Yeah. They want something more. Yeah. I am like even in sound engineering. Yeah. I started from scratch. So I have learned to use my resources to the best of my possibility. Yeah. My always thing is what I have, I should be able to use it the maximum.
Yeah. So how does the conversation that you're getting on is an adventure bike? There's classes of bikes now. What do you tell yourself that, hey, listen, this bike can do this bike can do this. Do you ever feel that it's lacking something? Like, do you feel...
No, I mean, I am looking forward when I'll be 60 and riding. I may need a bike which will put me straight on the saddle, which will give me much better shock absorption to save my back. But I don't know what my health will be at 60, how my back will be at 60. Yeah. So that is at the back of my mind, maybe at 60. So another 5 years, I'm going to ride this one. As long as the bike is with me and it is riding well, I'm going to ride this.
You're going to do it.
Maybe after 60, I might have to buy a taller bike, and taller meaning with more, shock up length, whatever you call it.
More suspension.
More travel. All those technical terms I'm not very familiar with. But that's what. So I might sit on a bike which will, put less pressure on me. But right now, this bike is not pressurizing my spinal cord. Yeah, I have done 900 kilometers in a single day, and I was still had energy to unpack my stuff and put it back.
Yeah.
I had enough energy left after doing 900 kilometers, starting at 3 a.m., reaching at 6 at home, and I still had energy to sit and chat with my family. And I mean, there was no fatigue as such, 900 kilometers, I need to sleep. ऐसा कुछ नहीं था.
I know everybody looks at you as the Bonnie guy who's done 100,000 kilometers on his bike. Do you still think it's an achievement? Do you think people should be looking at those as an achievement from your side? And if I came to a 50, was the next 75 a goal that you ever had?
No, it never started as a goal. It just I was riding. I was enjoying, and when it became 60, I traveled 60,000 kilometers. Then everybody started asking me, "Arey, lakh ka bol, kitna hua? 80 hua?" Then suddenly I realized, that's a mark people are looking at and continuously asking me, when are you going to, that kind of thing. There were two questions asked. One is, 1 lakh ka ho raha hai? And second was, what is the new upgrade? What is the next one? So these are the two questions I've been asked.
But there was no pressure on you that, listen, I have to do 1 lakh. It was not an achievement for you, which is what, I mean.
When 1 lakh I completed and we had a small function at Triumph showroom, I said, what's next? 2 lakhs. What's next? 3 lakhs. As long as I can ride, I'm going to ride and I'm going to enjoy it. And the whole process of riding is what gives me the pleasure.
Cool. So we've got a whole lakh. How many have you done like that?
1,18,000.
1,18,000. Okay. What is the most memorable experience of this motorcycle and the kilometer that you've done? What was that one trip or something that that you think, what, this is the bike that I should have and I love this bike? Is there a moment?
It was always there. Like I went to Spiti with 3 Tigers, 1 Bonnie, and a lot of other bikes, 2, 3, 4 different makes. And I'm seeing all the bikes around. I am able to do what these guys are doing, or maybe sometimes better. I have, like Spiti ride was one which gave me that confidence to, I can take it anywhere. I went to Chandratal, I went to all that water crossings and going through river beds, and I could do it comfortably. There was no tension, stress. It was not there. It could be done very, very easily. There was another guy with me, and we had actually prepared for it. We had practiced, we had changed the bike accordingly, and it really helped. And it was a very, very comfortable and enjoyable ride. So that gave me so much of confidence. I can do anything with this.
You can do it.
Yeah. Only maybe slower, which is fine. I don't need to, in off-road, I don't aim to do it at 60 or 80. And it has never been that. The speed has never been that. I never normally on tarmac, I ride, and my comfort zone is 100, 120. There are riders who go at 160 past me. It doesn't instigate anything in me. It doesn't put, I don't need to.
So you really sound like a guy who's you're part with the bike. Like you are with the bike.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So let's get into a few questions that we get asked a lot. You've bought a bike, you spent so many kilometers on it. What are the top, I'm not going to say top 5, but what are the top accessories that you really, or the things that you really need to be on your bike that will make your ride easier, smoother, more comfortable?
The first and foremost, which I don't need, is sound.
Okay.
I hate loud exhausts, and I have not changed my exhaust, and I love that is the first thing. There was no sound, there was no indication of this bike has so much of power, it could go so smoothly with so much of torque. So that is the one thing which I bought the Triumph for. So
which is very odd, because the first thing everybody wants to do.
I know, it's all for people. It is all sound. When I'm riding, on the silent machine, and I still use earplugs which reduce the sound. So
which is a very quiet. It's a quiet bike.
It's a quiet bike. Still, I use that, and then it becomes so smooth, and the ride becomes so beautiful.
But you're right, though. There's a lot of you'd be surprised the number of earplugs that we sell. And the first thing that the first thing that people ask us is, will this reduce sound? But the reason that you wear earplugs, and No Noise is the company that we have. And
I've been using, I've been following, and I've been promoting that because as a sound engineer, I have tested a lot of them. So the best thing about it is it has attenuation on high and low frequencies, which cuts the wind noise, basically.
Yeah.
And it keeps the mid frequencies open, which is the horn, and so you're aware of what's happening around you.
Yeah.
At a reduced volume, which gives you a peace of mind.
Yeah, but that's also what. So when No Noise, when we were having a chat with No Noise, the thing that they said was the biggest USP of that is it's not to reduce the noise and the clutter around, but it says that it reduces your fatigue. And if you're on long rides, if you're really getting tired, all you do is put in earplugs and reduce that sound, the wind noise, and you will be able to continue longer without without getting tired.
Yes.
Which is the purpose.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very interesting, one of the good accessories that you
Yes,
really
absolutely, absolutely.
What are the other ones that you get into? Did you put a lot of luggage on your bike? You load it up with.
Initially, I started like that. I didn't know. So my first Leh Ladakh ride was. I mean, if you look at that picture, when I look at it, it looks so ugly. That whole bike looks. It is luggage everywhere, and it is horribly. It's horrible. So then I realized, then understood, then on that trip I understood what not to take.
Okay, good.
So
what are the things that you should not put on your bike or not take on your bike?
Too much of clothes. You don't need them. You have riding gear. You're doing riding most of the times.
Yeah.
You need one shorts and t-shirt to sleep.
That's true.
Which you can, and you're using that for so few hours that you can use that for 3 nights.
Yeah.
It's simple like that. And then you don't need day clothes because you're riding.
Yeah.
So only you need when you go to a place and you're going to spend 2-3 days there.
Yeah.
Then you need a couple of, but again you're going on a bike. So you're going to wear something which is, gear only.
Yeah, exactly.
So earlier I carried like almost one t-shirt and one
every day.
For every day.
I used to do that as well.
Yeah.
I used to do that. And then I started seeing a lot of these world travelers and there was a guy that I know who traveled for 30 days and all he had was 3 t-shirts and 3 shorts and underwear, and then his base layer was there.
Yeah.
But he would ride whenever he got a chance to soak it and let it dry. Next morning and wear this. And he said that's all you need. You don't need anything else apart from. But you're right. Even I used to do this. One t-shirt, one pant for every day, and one undergarment.
So it was like the bag was tightly packed, and I need shoes. Because riding shoes, I cannot go everywhere with that. So the shoes will come. Then a lot of food items I used to carry. Now it is reduced to 1 packet of dry fruits in the morning, because when you're leaving early, you don't get anything to eat. Otherwise, everything is available on the road. Why you need to carry it, put it in your bag, every stuff. So that, but I increased luggage in the other direction, puncture kit, the tool kit. All that started coming in. Earlier, the air compression pump. So all those things are more essential than having more clothes. So that priorities changed.
So one other thing that we always get asked is people ride far and long. I mean, I'm sure you put in a lot of saddle time. Literally, like in a day, I'm sure you're doing
12 hours.
12 hours.
Minimum.
So how do you continue that? Do you aim to do so many kilometers in a day? How do you do those? Do you stop quite often?
Basically, I plan the complete ride beforehand. I mean, I know from before I leave, maybe 15-20 days before I leave, where I'm going to stop, because I'll find hotels which are on the highway, on the way, so I don't need to get inside the city. I plan everything to the T.
Okay.
Days, starting times, how many kilometers I have to travel. According to that, the start times are also decided so that I reach before sunset. I don't like to ride at night. I hate riding at night. So, I just can't.
Okay.
So, I will prefer to reach there before sunset anywhere. So that's the plan. So, when I plan all that, I know how many kilometers I have to do. So, according to that, I ride. But thing is, first in the morning, it's like I can go 200-300 kilometers without stopping. Because only fuel stop, every 200 kilometers, I have to take a fuel stop.
So, do you use that as a
stop? Yes. I just don't fill fuel. I put the bike on stand. I stretch, I drink water, and then start. So I use that as one stop, which is comprehensive fuel plus stretching stop kind of thing. Then after morning 3 hours, 4 hours, then we have a breakfast stop. After that, when the sun comes up and then temperature starts going up, every hour I stop, because I am the one who don't carry a bag on water bag on the shoulders. I don't like that. I tried doing that. But that unnecessary weight, and it gives me, it becomes uncomfortable. So I carry a water bottle in the bag. so that I have to stop. In any way, because what I found was, with this bag even there behind, I had to slow down. I had to take the tube inside my full face helmet and try to do acrobatics to get it to my mouth and then drink. So all my focus from the riding was going anyway. So I had to either take my bike on side. Why not get down and stretch also along with it? So it was easier stuff and nothing is on my back. So I'm more comfortable sitting on my bike. So I do that. I've been doing that for like.
So you were mentioning you don't ride at night.
Yes.
You should probably start really early.
Yes.
Is lighting a very important part?
Pardon me?
Is lighting a very important part of this?
It is for 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah. But so I don't have huge.
You don't put a lot.
I have put smaller lights.
Okay.
Because of that, I can't ride fast. Because my range is reduced. Vision is reduced. So it works perfectly at 60 to 80.
Yeah.
So early morning, I'll
It's a very
start.
slow.
Aram se.
Just cruising.
Yeah. I don't want to take unnecessary risks because my vision is depleted. I can't see much longer.
Okay.
So then I cover it up as soon as the sun rises. Then my speed will go to 120, 130 and I compensate for the time. That is. But it's a constant speed. There's no traffic. So that even 80, if I can hold it at 80 at early in the morning, it is good.
So now that you've got so many kilometers, I assume you have done a lot of. I mean, you must have done quite a lot of Indian roads.
Yeah.
What are the stretches, if you remember any that you think that I should go back? And would you recommend people that you should do this stretch? I mean, I asked somebody who's a super street rider and he said, you have to do the Ghats of Yellappa, you have to do the Karnataka Ghats. So what are those stretches that they really make you believe and they really bring that whole passion about riding and I have to go there again?
Actually, Spiti is beautiful. I want to go back as many times as I can because every time it's different. Once I did Leh stretch, and it's more of an adventure than beauty. I mean, I loved Spiti part better. But again, that Kaza to Manali is the stage I don't want to ever. I've done it once just for the heck of it. It is not worth it.
Yeah.
So I mean, after seeing Pangong Lake, looking at Chandratal, after doing so much of riding wasn't worth it, I felt. So I mean, whenever I go, hereafter, I'm going to go to Kaza and come back via Simla. But that stretch is so beautiful. Like the turning, twisting roads, the landscape, everything is beautiful about it.
So you're trying to go again this year?
Yes, as many times as
you can. Yeah.
But the plan is to go from here in 5 days, reach Kaza, stay there for 5 days.
You would ride all the way?
Absolutely.
You would ride.
Once in first ride, I shipped my bike to Chandigarh and then rode. On way back, I rode all the way. That time I decided I'm not going to ship my bike.
But why would you do that though? Because that's what I was saying. It's a very purist it's a very purist argument.
I mean, it is. But see, I mean, I love to ride on straight roads also. It's not that I need only twisties. I like the process of riding. I like that whole experience of sitting on the saddle and riding wherever, whichever way. So it's not just limited to high speed. It is not limited to twisties. It is not limited to high altitude. It is not that. Even if I come here from home to Triumph showroom, I enjoy that.
You're enjoying it.
So it's that.
Yeah. So I'm not jealous about it, but I think that it's an amazing trait that you have. And I always look at you and I've been a fan of yours. And I always tell people that, listen, if you really want to understand motorcycling and what motorcycle brings to you, you should speak to Nitin or see him. He's the guy that you have to do. So I'm gonna. I think you've really captured almost everything. Does the beard help you with?
No, it doesn't help me when I'm riding. I have to take care of it. I have to put it inside, and while taking out the helmet, while putting it on, it comes in between sometimes. But I love the beard.
But does it help you with people associating you with this hardcore biker image?
But you will see, beard has been part and parcel of my life. From very early time, I had been keeping on. It's never on and off. It's always there, but in different sizes and shapes. Earlier, I had a French beard. Then I had a full beard. Then I used to have a French beard with long one, which I used to braid. I used to put beads in it and all that. So I've been playing around with it for a very long time. Only after started starting to ride a bike, I started growing it long.
Yeah.
It just goes with it.
Amazing. Nitin, I think this has been an amazing one. The funny thing is, I know you and we bump into each other quite a lot at the Triumph showroom. But the things that, the kind of emotions that you brought out by talking about is just amazing. Like they're superb. So I think thanks for being on this show. You can let us know what your handles are so people who are listening to you can actually start.
I have an Instagram handle called JOSNITIN. That is first 3 letters of Joshi, surname, and Nitin. JOSNITIN at Instagram. And that's where I post my mostly ride pictures.
It's only motorcycle pictures.
Mostly. And travel and riding. Nothing else goes there. Yeah. Everything else goes on Facebook.
Good. Thanks so much, Nitin. It was a pleasure having you on this podcast. Thanks for listening to this podcast. I want to hear your stories, your motorcycle experiences, what you've been doing, and how motorcycles have made your life better. So if you have something to say, DM us on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to get you on this podcast.